Buon pomeriggio e benvenuti a tutti. Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Today's webinar is very exciting indeed. Our welcome guest is Dave Neal, Senior Business Development Manager EMEA, representing Universal Parks and Resorts. Welcome, Dave. The stage is yours.
Oh, thank you, Leah, and good afternoon to everybody in Italy. I hope your weather in Italy is a lot better than ours here in London today, because it's not very nice. So I'm going to brighten things up a little bit by talking about Universal Parks and Resorts over in Orlando and also in Hollywood, and giving you all an update on what's happening in our different resorts. Leah, can I just ask you, are you giving me this screen to share, or are you going to show the video first?
I'm going to show the video first.
That's great. We're going to start. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to start with an overview of Orlando today, and just to start, we have a little video just to show you our 3 parks and our hotels, for those who have never been there before, and for those who have been a little while ago and want to remember it again. So here's a little overview of Universal Orlando Resort coming up on video. Okay, so that was an overview of Universal Orlando Resort. I'm just going to take over the screen here and let me. Okay, well, just to give you an idea of, before I go and talk about what's happening in both Orlando and Hollywood, I just wanted to show you something that you might not have seen before. This is the universalpartnercommunity.com. Now, the Universal Partner Community was created 2 years ago to give everybody who sells or promotes Universal in Orlando or Hollywood, to give you all of the updates as they happen, to give you access to video content like you've just seen there, access to photography that you can share on your own websites, and opportunities to ask questions, and also take the Universal training. We have some fantastic video training on here, and when you complete the training there, and if you are thinking of going out to Orlando, you can actually get up to 50% off your own tickets for your own holiday when you complete the training. So if anybody hasn't signed up already and wants to get access to the Universal Partner Community, please just take a note of the email address there, which is salesandmarketing@nbcuni.com. And that email address will give you, we will be able to send you an access link, and then you can sign up and register, and then you can enjoy everything that's on the Universal Partner Community and get all of your information straight away as soon as it happens. So that's been doing really well for us for 2 years with all the people who sell and promote Universal Parks and Resorts. This is Orlando. For those people who have never been to Universal Orlando before, we are 3 parks. We call ourselves a 3-park destination. There is so much to do within those parks there. You saw a lot of what we offer within the parks in the videos there. So everything from things like the Shrek and the Minions to the Simpsons. We have also Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, the Marvel superhero characters like Hulk and Spider-Man. And of course, we have the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, both the London side of Harry Potter, and in another park, we have the Scotland side of Harry Potter with the Hogwarts Express train running between the two. It's the only place in the world of any Universal park in the world where you can actually get on the Hogwarts Express and go between London and Scotland, one being in Universal Studios and the other being in Islands of Adventure, the park next door. So you actually go between the 2 parks on the Hogwarts Express. We also have Volcano Bay, which is our water theme park, and that was opened in 2017, the best water park by a long way in Florida. It really is incredible, and I'm going to show you a little video on that later. It's worth noting that also within our resort that you see there, we now have 8 hotels at Universal. And when we say on-site hotels, we really mean that, because where you are in all 8 hotels is so close to the parks. You can actually walk into the parks from 6 of our hotels. And then the other 2 that you see on the left-hand side of the map, Endless Summer Resort, Surfside and Dockside Inn and Suites. Those 2 hotels are our newest hotels, which one of which only opened just after towards the end of last year. So really new. And what we have with these 8 hotels now is different themes in every hotel, but we have hotels that range from 3-star up to 5-star. So something to suit every taste and every customer's budget as well. So where we used to be just the Hard Rock Hotel and the Portofino Bay many years ago, expensive hotels, 5-star hotels, beautiful hotels. But for a lot of people, it was more money than maybe they wanted to spend on a family holiday. Now we have 3-star up to 5-star, but all fantastic quality. And then finally, just to mention with this map, that everything you see in the map, the 8 hotels and the 3 parks are all within 4 square kilometers. So unlike Disney, which is more like 60 square kilometers, we are very compact, very easy to leave the resort. If you want to leave the park at any time and get back to your hotel, you are back to the hotel in 5 or 10 minutes. And that's a big thing when you're on holiday, especially with younger children or older relatives that want access to be able to get back to their hotels very easily. 4 square kilometers for everything that you see on the map there. So we're very compact, and we're very close to to International Drive as well. Only maybe $6 or $7 in an Uber to get anywhere on International Drive, whether you want to go out to see the bars, the restaurants, or of course to do all the shopping in the outlets and the malls all around Orlando. So that's an overview of our 3-park destination and all of the things that we feature in there. I wanted to talk about what's happened in Orlando. Obviously, last year, when we started with the pandemic and we were all going into a lockdown period, the same happened in Orlando, and we closed the park. But we were very fortunate that in Orlando, unlike in California, we opened the parks again 2 months later. So we opened on the 5th of June, 2020, and we've been open ever since. So almost a year now that the park in Orlando has been open, and the hotels, which has been incredible because we've been working obviously only with the American market. We have been able to put all of the safety measures in place. And obviously we are working on a restricted capacity. So a lot less people in the park than would normally be in the parks, which has been nice for the customers there because they've been enjoying themselves with less people all around them. As time has gone on and more people in Orlando and in Florida have been vaccinated, we have now got to the point where last week we were actually being able to, for the first time, relax the face coverings. So people do not have to wear the masks when they're walking around outside in the parks. When they get to an attraction and into the queue, or when they walk into a shop or go to a restaurant before they sit down, they have to wear it. But all the rest of the time, it's the first time from this weekend, just gone, the weekend, we actually now do not have to have face coverings. We do not do any temperature checks for the customers when they arrive anymore. We can now load a roller coaster with every row, whereas before we had to leave one row free and then one row full, one row free, one row full. That's changed. And now the social distancing has now gone from 2 meters down to 1 meter as well. So all the time, the parks are improving. All the times, the capacity is being able to be a little bit higher. And we believe that by the time the Italian market and the European market are able to travel back to Orlando, we will be back to a very high capacity. And that's really good to know. And we've learned a lot from this whole experience of how to run the park through a pandemic. So hopefully now we're coming out the other side. One thing we've also done is created a lot of access for customers never to have to use cash. They can load into the app, the Universal Orlando app. They can load in their credit card details, and they can buy things through the app all the way through the parks and the hotels. And also with the app, not only does it show you the maps of the park and where the Universal characters are and the parades and what time, but now you actually have a virtual line experience as well. So when you arrive in the parks and you go onto the park Wi-Fi, you look at your app, and there are always around about 4 or 5 attractions that have a virtual line, which means that you and your family can look at those attractions and you can book a time slot to go on that roller coaster, for example. And that means that you've got a place there held for you. And when you go to the attraction at the time, they will scan the app on your phone and you will go in and join a much smaller line before you get on the roller coaster. So it's a way of saving you time. The technology has really improved on the app. And by the time, again, the Italian market can travel, you will see a big difference. And there will be many more things that people can do with this app. So definitely something to advise your customers to download on their phones before they travel. I wanted to highlight as well a few new attractions that we have. Something that was just about to open before the pandemic came last March was another one of our movie franchises from Universal Pictures is the Bourne movies. So Jason Bourne, the main character, appears here in an amazing indoor stunt show that we have. For anybody who's been to Universal Studios Hollywood and knows of Waterworld, the fantastic stunt show there, this is brought indoors. This follows the lead character Jason Bourne around 3 different continents. And it's a mixture of on-stage action with real life stunt actors. And the backdrops are these really big screens in 4D that show you amazing backdrops. And it's hard to understand who are the actors and who are the visual people in the background. And it's basically an action-packed stage show mixing real life with special effects. And it's an incredible experience. It's going down so well. People can't believe how spectacular it is. And also because it's indoors, when you're walking around in the heat of Florida, sometimes you just want a little bit of air conditioning. So it's a nice break, a nice 20-minute break from being outside to go inside and watch this amazing, spectacular stunt show. And that's the Bourne Stuntacular, and that's now open in Universal Studios. Another fantastic ride that opened just before the pandemic, it was open for around about 8 months, was over in Islands of Adventure, where we have the Scottish side of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. You can see Hogwarts Castle there in the picture. You can see that this is the Forbidden Forest. So if anybody is a fan of Harry Potter, Universal created in 2019, we planted 1,200 trees and created this amazing structure of the Forbidden Forest. And this is Hagrid's Magical Creatures motorbike adventure. So it's based on Hagrid's motorbike and sidecar. So you have 2 different ways to travel, on the motorbike or in the sidecar. You hear Hagrid's voice coming through the roller coaster as it takes you off on a journey through the Forbidden Forest. It goes from 0 to 50 miles per hour in just a few seconds, and it launches and does that around about 7 times during the ride. It's quite low to the ground, which makes it feel a lot faster, but it really is a breathtaking ride because as it accelerates so fast, the speed is quite amazing. It doesn't go upside down or anything like that, but it takes you through the Forbidden Forest and it slows down to meet all the magical creatures that you know from Harry Potter. And then suddenly off you go again to a different part of the forest. And it's a real spectacular journey with the backdrop being Hogwarts Castle itself. I've got a little video to show you that I think Leah's going to put on now, which gives you a bit of an idea of how the attraction looks. And this is when it first opened. You will see some of the characters of Harry Potter who came to open the ride. So there we go. That's Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. So for anybody who hasn't been to Orlando since June of 2019 when it opened, that's what you've got to look forward to. And then on top of that now, in Islands of Adventure as well, we have something really, really special. And that is opening on the 10th of June. So we're really close to the launch date. For anybody who's been to Islands of Adventure will know the whole Jurassic Park area that is there. Over that lagoon, we have built the Velocicoaster, so based around the Velociraptors, who are all based in a paddock and escape and chase you on this brand new roller coaster right the way through. It's Florida's, now it's going to be Florida's tallest launch coaster. That's 155 feet, so the height of the volcano in Volcano Bay, and it has an 80-degree drop. So this is really a high adrenaline roller coaster for those people who really love their roller coasters and their excitement. Again, Leah, if you wouldn't mind getting the video ready, we've got a little preview of how this spectacular roller coaster looks. And as I say, it's going to be open on the 10th of June, so very, very soon. So there we go. That is something quite spectacular that is coming to Universal's Islands of Adventure on the 10th of June. And that also will really help how busy it is in Islands of Adventure sometimes, because obviously it's been very, very busy in the Scottish side of Harry Potter with Hagrid's Magical Creatures motorbike adventure that you've just seen. But actually having the Velocicoaster in this Jurassic Park area will mean that the people in the parks, I think, will certainly spread out a little bit more. More people will be in both areas now, and that will make the queues that little bit easier as well. So that's really great news. And then our third park, Volcano Bay, I just wanted to mention because so many people still haven't been to Universal since Volcano Bay opened, and it's a spectacular water park. The 150-foot high volcano is the centerpiece, but it is a park with so many things to do, so many rides for families and groups of people, like the one you see in the picture there, which is called the Honu. It's lots of rides. I think there's 8 rides in total that take up to 5 people in one time. In the different things, you don't have to. You can relax at Volcano Bay, or you can get as excited as you want on many of the different rides and slides. And there are some spectacular rides and slides there, something different to any other water park that you may have ever been to in the world. Also, we have the technology whereby everybody gets a wristwatch called a Tapu Tapu, which is basically something that, again, just like I was talking about with the app before, the virtual queue line, this is technology whereby there is no queuing at this water park, if you can believe that. So what happens is there is a display outside every ride, and if you walk up to the ride and the display says you can ride now, then that's fine. You can just go straight onto the ride. But when it gets busier in the parks, these rides will display a wait time. They will say you can't go on this ride until 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 30 minutes. But what you do is you tap your wristwatch onto the display, and it puts the wait time onto your watch. So it will say 30 minutes on your watch, and then you know that when you come back in 30 minutes time, you can ride straight away. But in the meantime, you can walk off and do something else. So it saves you. We don't want anybody to queue and wait in the sunshine in the water park getting sunburns when you could be doing other things with your time. So that's the idea behind it. And you don't have to keep looking at your watch, because the Tapu Tapu will tell you and vibrate on your wrist when it's time to visit that attraction, and it will say ride now. And that means that you can go then, or you can wait a little bit. If you're busy, you can go as any time you want, and then you tap into the ride, you ride on the slide, and then your Tapu Tapu watch is free to be able to go to another ride and do the same again. So it just means no queuing in the water park, which is a very, very good thing. Again, Leah, if you wouldn't mind showing the little preview video of Volcano Bay in action, everybody can see the different types of rides and slides and a little bit of those Tapu Tapu wristwatches. Have a look at people's hands and you'll see them wearing the watches. So again, there's Volcano Bay. And then just to finish off on the subject of the 3 parks, really, in terms of ticket types now, so we have still, you'll still be able to buy the 3 park, what we call the Explorer ticket, which is the one that was, for those people in Orlando a little bit longer, you could buy the Explorer ticket, which is actually the same price as a 2-day 3 park ticket if you buy it in Orlando. It's very, very good value, but it's open for 14 days. So you can go into all 3 parks as many times as you want over 14 days. But also, obviously, in Europe, you can also buy a shorter duration ticket. You could buy a 2 or a 3-day park-to-park ticket. The little difference now will be that these tickets will be, they will be actually date-based tickets. So before, you could use them a bit more flexibly. You could buy a ticket and it was open to go whichever 2 days you wanted to go, or 3 days. but now you will actually have to buy a ticket for specific days to visit the park. You don't have to reserve any places, but you have to book a ticket for those particular days. And that's the big difference, just with the less capacity in the parks there. But it won't be too much of a difference, but it will just mean the customers will need to be a little more organized and know which days they want to go and use the Universal tickets. Okay, I just wanted to mention the 8 hotels, and just really not to talk about all the hotels, but I just wanted to mention the 2 on the left-hand side here, because we have Surfside Inn and Suites and Dockside Inn and Suites, which are our new value entry-level hotels. So with all of our hotels, anywhere you stay at Universal, you get early park admission, which means that you can go into the parks 1 hour before the main customers come in through the gates, which is a real big bonus, especially in the holiday periods like Easter and the summer and Christmas time, when the parks are that bit busier. So 1 hour early park admission for all hotels. And then for our premier hotels at the bottom, they are the Loews Portofino Bay Hotel, Hard Rock Hotel, and Loews Royal Pacific Resorts. Those 3 hotels are our 4-star plus or 5-star hotels, and they not only give you early park admission, but you also get a free Universal Express Pass included. So that's an Express Pass means you can go into the Express line and you can get onto the rides so much faster than anybody else in the park. So although those hotels are more expensive, they are the top quality of the Universal hotels, and they also give you an Express Pass as well. But the new entry-level hotels, Surfside Inn and Suites and Dockside Inn and Suites, we have in here standard queen rooms, but also half of the hotels are also 2-bedroomed family suites. And these family suites start from as little as $115 per room per night. And the great thing about this is not only do you have all of the benefits of staying in a Universal on-site hotel that I've just mentioned, but also the road that runs across the top that you see in the map there is actually International Drive. So you are now located in a hotel that is owned by Universal, that gives you early park admission, and also is located on International Drive for only $110 per room per night for a 2-bedroom family suite that sleeps up to 6 people. And the great thing is as well, although we say these are our entry-level hotels, you can see, just like everything at Universal, the quality is so high. This does not look like 3-star at all. The Universal hotels are all owned and managed and built in a joint venture with Loews Hotels. So people who know Loews Hotels know the quality and know what they give us. And although this is 3-star, they don't seem anything like 3-star. These are the queen rooms in Dockside, 2 massive swimming pools as well to enjoy with poolside bars and all the facilities. And also here in both Dockside and Surfside, these are the 2-bedroom family suites. So a 2 queen beds in the outer room with their own TV, a kitchen set up here as well, with coffee maker, microwave, everything you want there. And also you can just about see the 2nd bedroom, which is a private bedroom there, which obviously sleeps 2 people as well. So up to 6 people in these 2-bedroom suites. And they're amazing value for money. So again, very affordable to stay on site at Universal Orlando. And then I just wanted to switch my attention for the last sort of 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so to Universal Studios Hollywood, because I know a lot of people in Italy like to travel out to Los Angeles. We've had a very different experience at Universal Studios Hollywood because of the restrictions in California have been so different to the restrictions in Florida. California has only recently reopened its theme parks. So Universal Studios Hollywood was closed for a year. It has reopened 6 weeks ago, only at first to residents of California only, and only on 15% occupancy. So the parks have been much quieter. The park has been much quieter than normal. Pleased to say that now they have extended that to not only California residents, but basically out of state residents as well. And we hope that by June, when the announcement comes, that everything will change there and we will see a big difference in the capacities and those restrictions being lifted as well. So that's all good news and better news from Hollywood. Obviously, the great thing about Universal Studios Hollywood is that you've not only got the best of the attractions of Orlando that we've just seen, but we've also got the world famous studio tour as well, which is why so many people visit. The history of Hollywood, Universal Studios, the backdrops, the theming, the studios behind the scenes are just unbelievable to see. And you can go on your own backlot tour in the little trolleys that you see in the picture there, and head around with Jimmy Fallon being the host and taking you through all the different attractions. You can go and see many of the film sets. You can still see Jaws in Universal Studios Hollywood as well, the attraction that is sadly missed from Orlando, but you can still visit that attraction there. And also 2 of the brilliant 3D attractions from Orlando are now part of this studio tour, which is the Skull Island Reign of Kong, the King Kong 360, and also Fast and Furious Supercharged from the movie franchise as well. That all takes part in the studio tour as well. So that is a really big reason to visit Universal Studios Hollywood. If you love the theme parks, but you also love the movie history, this is what you can see here. And just before the pandemic, we opened the new Jurassic World, the ride, which is based on the river adventure that you see in the Orlando park, but brought more up to date, just like the Velocicoaster, into the new franchise of Jurassic World. And the theming of this ride has just been amazing to take it up to the next level with the huge water-based Mosasaurus in there. You actually sail straight past him and right through all the main attractions of this brilliant ride. This has been a really big bonus to us to bring the whole Jurassic World theming to life in Universal Studios Hollywood. So a real big thing. So although it opened just before the pandemic, to us, it feels like a new attraction because it wasn't open very long before the pandemic came. Another thing that was just ready to open right there, as you can see there, new ride coming in 2020. This was ready to open just as the pandemic came. The Secret Life of Pets. So you actually have the theming of the New York apartment of Katie that is based right down near the Minion Mayhem in the lower lot of Universal Studios. And you can join all these amazing animatronic characters within this brilliant ride that puts you into a cardboard box and turns you into a little pet. And you don't know what pet you're going to be until the end. And you actually go round the apartments and see all the characters and all these big animatronics all the way around. It's a brilliant family ride. And so now it's going to open very soon. Now that the park is back open, people can enjoy the Secret Life of Pets there in the rest of 2021. So again, 2 really new attractions that were ready that are now going to take shape in 2021, which is brilliant. So still a lot going on in both Universal Studios Orlando, Universal Orlando Resort, I should say, and also Universal Studios Hollywood. I just really wanted to make sure that you are updated with what's happening in terms of the park restrictions. I really believe that we'll be in a very, very good position by the time the Italian markets are able to travel back to our parks, which is brilliant as well. And to finally say that for Universal Studios Hollywood, the same ticket types will apply as you're probably used to. That's the general admission ticket to get into the park for the day. The express ticket, which obviously gives customers access to the park, but also access to the express line to make that day a little bit more enjoyable and speedier. And then, of course, the VIP tours will also be available for those people who want to do everything at a very high level with meals included and your own guides for the day, as well as express entry onto all the rides. They will be the 3 ticket types that we do. I think at the moment, if you have a look, most suppliers don't have tickets on sale yet, even for later on in the year in 2021, because as per the restrictions in California, we are just being very careful not to offer tickets for people outside of America at the moment when we don't 100% know that they will be able to travel into our parks. So again, at the moment, like most customers, are just waiting to see what happens. It's kind of the same for the ticket sales for Universal Studios Hollywood as well. So I really hope that that gives you an up-to-date view of how things are with Universal Parks and Resorts. We really look forward to welcoming your customers back into our parks, and of course you, the travel agents, back into our parks and our hotels in the future. I will hand back over to Leah and just ask Leah if there are any questions from anybody.
Sure, let me see.
I'll turn my camera back on so you can see me.
Okay. Deborah is asking if in Florida people don't wear masks in the parks, correct?
They have to wear the masks when they get to an attraction, or when they walk into a shop, or when they go into a restaurant before they sit down. But actually, from Saturday, just last Saturday, everything was changed. So now when they're walking around in the outside of the parks, you don't have to wear the masks anymore.
Okay.
So
yes, Tiziana is asking how many time distance to Universal Studio or Park Orlando, the Surfside suites?
How far are they from the parks? Is that the question?
Yeah. How many? Yes, to Universal or the park? Yeah.
If I from the park on the bus, so the shuttle bus that collects from there, it's only 3 minutes into the parks on the bus. You can't from Surfside and Dockside, because they're located on the busy roads of International Drive and also Universal Boulevard. We don't really advise that you can walk to City Walk for the entrance to the park. So if you get the bus, and the buses run all day long, it's 3 minutes from the hotel into City Walk. So as close as all the other hotels, really.
Okay. At the moment, I have no more question. I just have Leonardo is asking, telling us that he tried to register, as you said at the beginning, and the system refused him. Do you have some suggestion about this?
Sorry, Leo, I didn't quite understand that. He tried to
register the.
onto the community.
Yeah, and the community. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you know, because the best thing to do, do you know if he used the sales and marketing email address? Because if you email that address, it goes to my colleague called Zoe, and Zoe then takes care of the registration. So maybe he tried to go on the community direct, but I would suggest just to send an email to sales and marketing at nbcuni.com, which is the one that was on the screen. I can maybe go back to it if I can.
Yeah.
Let's see, can I move back to that slide at the start?
It doesn't move.
I'm trying to move it. It doesn't seem to be moving for me. I still have control of the screen.
I don't see a move. Maybe you can make an ask. Try to ask and then going back.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
What if shall I stop sharing my screen for a second and then?
See.
Okay. Okay, let me see if I can go back.
Yes, now it's moving.
That's moving?
Yeah.
Come out, I'll just go back here and this one. So at the bottom on the right hand side, sales and marketing at NBCUNI, that comes into our office here, and then Zoe can send something for anybody who wants to register. She will send the details of how to do it properly. Sometimes when our system doesn't recognize a particular travel agent, or maybe that travel agent has never before done any business for Universal, that's where sometimes there is a little problem and we have to get some authorization. But if you email sales and marketing at NBCUNI and ask for details for the Universal partner community, then that will be no problem. We'll get the details to anybody who wants them.
Sure, we will write on the mail that you are
Perfect.
going to receive tomorrow. So don't worry about this.
Okay.
Because many of them are asking about this address. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That if you can copy from there, or yeah, we
Sure.
can and send it over to everyone. And anybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's good.
So Laura is asking if I understand well, in this moment the park in LA is not open to American tourists. Am I right? When do you think it's possible?
There is an announcement in June. I think it is about the 20th of June, where we think that is the date where there's going to be an announcement that lots will change in California. And that could mean then that we can put tickets on sale for later in the year for European customers. But I think from now, probably for another 1 month, we will not be able to buy any tickets for Universal Hollywood. But I think by the middle of June, that might change. But at the moment, Leah, yeah, just only North American residents are visiting the park at the moment.
Okay. And Deborah is asking, when we'll visit the park, are there discount for agent? There are some discount for travel agents to go to the park?
Yeah, again, with the same email address applies, the sales and marketing email address. If anybody is traveling out to Hollywood, for example, then you can ask. But what's going to happen, Leah, is on the Universal Partner Community, if you remember at the start, I mentioned the training. There is like a training academy on there, and if people register and take the training, then by taking the training and completing the training, it means that they will get access to be able to get discounts off tickets for both Orlando and for Hollywood.
Okay, great.
So it's really all of it now. All of those things are on the Universal Partner Community. So that's why it's important to join and have a look, because yeah, if you're traveling out to Orlando or to Hollywood and you want to get a discounted agent ticket, then taking the training is the way to get that.
That's great.
Okay,
we finished because we have no more questions from travel agents, and we really appreciate your presentation, and thank you very much to be here with us.
Oh, and to you, Leah. That was really nice to be here. It's nice to talk to everybody, and we look forward to having you all back in our parks and hotels soon.
Oh, we hope so very much. All of us, of course. Yeah.
You are welcome.
Thank you very much, David.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.